All right, are we live now?
Hold on. Almost.
You can't see the TV, so
Yeah.
on the slide.
You can drop it
Relax.
down maybe a little.
All right, so we are actually live on Facebook now. We're going to record everything too. Appreciate y'all being here this morning and everybody that is online. What we're really going to do today is we want to go through and really kind of give you some tips and some strategies that are working for the 30A company, which is a great partnership of ours, as well as that you can do on your own social media sites to really kind of create engagement and do those things. Let me kind of give you some clarification on a few things, okay? To give you an idea, the 30A partnership is a tremendous partnership for us where we pay them a referral with their exclusive partner, where they're 1,004,000 Facebook followers. How many Instagram followers?
Almost 200,000 Instagram, 42,000 TikTok, and
Growing every day.
and growing every day.
They got some reach. So what we're going to do really today is we're going to talk about some ways that, some things that they're doing that we're seeing. Also, what's kind of cool about this is we're going to share with you some ways that you can actually create some content, run it through Tim. Tim will kind of filter some of that stuff. We'll then send it over to 30A where you can get some exposure and expand your social media reach really through some of those activities that they're doing on 30A with posting some of those posts. Now let me give you kind of an idea. A couple of things. The 30A real estate team and the partnership is a separate website with a specific sales team. So let me just say this. If we're posting some of your content, we're not typically posting content, and a lot of what we're going to talk about today, on specific properties. It's going to be lifestyle content, which is what's drawing the audience now, okay? So the advantage to you guys from the 30A real estate team side is any listings you take, they're going to be on a rotation basis on 30A's website. You're also going to have the ability, we do a monthly email out to, gosh, McKenna, there's like 350,000 or something on their email list. We highlight 4 to 5 properties there. They're very specific. So if you want to have one of your properties reviewed for that, let us know. Also, we do some ultimate beach home videos specifically for like really big beach homes. Tim shoots the video. Those things are getting 50 to 100,000 views. So it's a great listing tool for you if you've got a specific luxury type property that you're looking at. And also just the association, obviously, being able to utilize the branding for 30A. So we've got a lot of good things for you today. Some of the things we're going to talk about are specific to this. But imagine this. Imagine you do something, and we're going to talk about specific types of content. Imagine you have something that you share that ends up going through the channels. McKenna, as the marketing manager over at the 30A company, it ends up sharing that on their 30A website, on their Facebook page, TikTok, wherever it ends up being, Instagram. When that content's shared, imagine the impact that could have where people are going to then begin to follow you. So we're going to have it where you be tagged, so you'll have some things there. McKenna, am I explaining this okay? Is that okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So let me do this. Let me just go ahead and we're going to kind of roll into some of the content. This is going to be interactive. So Karina's monitoring if there are questions on Facebook Live, obviously if y'all have questions. But what we really want to do is we want to break down some of the things that we're doing, some plans we have to help you guys take it to the next level, and then really just talk about what it is you guys need some assistance with to help make sure we're maximizing the opportunity. You know, I mean, literally, y'all, where else would you rather be than right here to be able to sell this lifestyle? I mean, come on. I mean, literally, just don't be so shaky and show the beach and you're going to gain people. You know what I mean? It's literally that easy. So what we want to do today is really give you some ideas to take this to the next level. I'm super excited because really, I mean, we got the dream team up here, y'all. Come on, we got Christina, we've got McKenna Mears from the 30A. I'm sorry, I was thinking of, Karina. I put it all together.
Blending them together.
I'm blending everything together, that's right. I came in a little hot this morning, so sorry about all that. So we got McKenna Mears. McKenna is a lifetime local and came back after graduating. Imagine this, y'all. You are graduating with a marketing degree from South Florida, I believe, correct?
Yep, Tampa.
From Tampa, and you get the call from Mike Ragsdale, hey, we're looking for a marketing coordinator, and you get your dream, I mean, I'm assuming it would be mine if I was a marketing manager coming out of college, it's a dream job. Hey, we'd like for you to take all the social media for 30A and really take it to the next level. Come on, I mean, you should go buy a lottery ticket, McKenna, literally, you know? So we're excited because McKenna, nobody knows this area as well as McKenna. She literally, if you've been on anything 30A, she is pretty much outside of Mike, the face of 30A right now, and so we're excited to kind of get her insights on that. Obviously, we got Tim Scarborough. Tim's been with us, with me, since the day that I shifted into position, and he's just any of y'all that have spent some time with Tim, he really does give you a great opportunity. He's one of those that doesn't just shoot the video, he teaches you how to do it yourself in a way and guides you in a way that makes you feel comfortable. So Tim's going to give some insight and talk to you about some things we're going to have coming up. And then Karina's just here to smile. I'm just kidding, y'all. Just kidding. And she does it real well. But Karina's going to be here. She's going to share some of the things that she does. As you all know, if you have not had a chance, anybody on Facebook Live or any of y'all, her digital footprint audit that she does is the most powerful thing that we do, in my opinion, because it gives you the ability to really optimize all of your social media, and you get the insights from somebody that's seeing now hundreds of agents and what's working for them on a daily basis. So, McKenna, I'm gonna just turn it over to you, and I swear I'm gonna be quiet.
No, you're good. Thanks. Yeah, so I've been with 30A for about 6 months, and I'm still learning. Karina just told me something this morning about social media that I literally had no idea about, but I'm kind of going to talk about the things that I've learned and what I've noticed that works really, really well for 30A. And just kind of... There we go. Yeah. So, to touch on being on 30A, I mean, my face is on 30A social media all the time, and I get recognized everywhere I go. They're like, oh, hey, you're that 30A girl. But it also works for people that I'm posting. I was telling Noah this morning, my boyfriend has been on the Instagram a couple times, and he was in a coffee shop the other day, and they're like, oh, hey, I've noticed you on 30A. He's been on there like 3 or 4 times on a story that's up for 24 hours. So the reach that we have specifically for our Facebook, we have 1.4 million fans there. I mean, it does something. People are gonna start to notice, especially if you're on there consistently. And so that's something that we're really trying to do and trying to get you guys all really excited about building content. So, like we said, we have nearly 200,000 Instagram followers. TikTok is kind of a new one where I'm really trying to explore different types of content and like finding what works. So I think that'll be like a really cool avenue to start exploring with you guys and your content. But honestly, Facebook is probably going to be like the main focus that I'll be talking about today and probably using most of your content for. So if you guys were at the Elevate Summit, I kind of touched on this a little bit, but there's just so much different type of content that you can share, some of which being promotion, tips and tricks, and entertainment. And promotion is really, sharing your new listings, your inventory, something that's usually time sensitive. Tips and tricks, this is following the trends, answering questions, coming up with questions and answering them yourself, just kind of to build trust with your audience and kind of start a conversation with your followers. And then the last is entertainment. And this is, I think what's really cool about the 30A area is that your promotion of a neighborhood, such as Tim and I just went to Churchill Oaks the other day, like that kind of stuff doubles as entertainment. We're just so blessed to live in this area where it's so beautiful that you can showcase a neighborhood or a home and it's still entertainment for people that aren't even looking to buy a home. So I think that's something that's really special about the 30A area that we kind of need to lean and dive into. So if at any point you're going to take notes, take a picture of the screen, this is the time to do it. This is what works for 30A. And I want to talk about this to you guys because it's working for 30A, so most likely it's going to work for you, but it's also, we want to make sure that you're creating the type of content that we can reshare. So I'll kind of dive into each one of these and just kind of do a brief overview right now. So polls are such an easy way to increase your engagement, and it's easy to do. I'll actually go in the next slide step by step of how to do a poll on an Instagram or Facebook story. So it's easy to create, and then it's also super easy for your followers to just click on the poll and tap which house they like better, or pool, or which neighborhood or community, whatever it is. Polls can be used for that lifestyle promotion content or even tips and tricks. It's super universal and it's super easy to create.
And I want to just add, polls are pivotal because it creates engagement. Like a lot of times people will see your post, and like if you post just something at the beach, they're obviously going to love that, but I think if you add the poll aspect to it, it inspires them to actually engage in your post, which increases your reach. The algorithm loves when people start interacting with your post, and the more that people interact, the more that you get free advertising essentially. So you're not going to have to spend any extra dollars on trying to boost your posts. If you can figure out creative ways to create engagement on your posts, which polls are a great way to do it. Facebook, TikTok, doesn't really even matter what platform you do it. The more engagement that you can get, the bigger the reach that you're going to have. So
Let me add to that, because in case there's somebody that doesn't know what a poll would be, let's give some real life examples. I know you've got one that we're going to do, but that's fine. But just talk about a couple of different things, maybe.
Yeah, so I mean, this next slide, I can
Yeah,
actually
we can
jump
come back.
here. So this kind of shows you exactly how to create a poll. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar, but the arrows point to exactly what you need to do. And really, this example is 2 pools in beautiful homes here. And that's kind of a fun one because people can decide, which pool they like better. Or it can be, do you prefer the sunrise or sunset? And you can type, like I just put emojis here for an up arrow and a down arrow, but you can type words in there as well. Or it could be, do you like seaside or watercolor better? It really can be anything you like. I think we see the best engagement when there's more than just one poll. So I like to have a theme for the polls. So if I were doing pools, I would have about 3, maybe 4 slides of a total of 8 different pools where people can vote which they like best.
So to give you an idea, and if you're still not sure how to do the polls because you didn't follow that, we live in an amazing time. Just go to YouTube and pull up how to set up a poll on Facebook, and it will literally show you how to do it. So don't get overwhelmed by that. Literally, there are 1,000 videos showing you how to do that if you're curious about how to do it and you didn't get it here. And of course, we're here to help too. If somebody needs some help doing their first one.
Yeah. And then kind of jumping back here. So videos, again, they perform really well for us. And I think the key here is just getting comfortable in front of and behind your phone camera. So I think with videos, it just takes practice to be able to get comfortable in talking, or again, in front or behind the camera.
So let's kind of, if you don't mind, let's talk about this a little bit, because I think some people get overwhelmed with that. You see us with this setup. Listen, when Tim and I first started, it was literally with the iPhone. And it was not that iPhone. It was one that was like, a bunch of versions before. So from that standpoint, just understand that in reality, I'm assuming y'all see it the same way we do. The less professional and just more interactive it is and more personal it is, typically the bigger the engagement. So don't be afraid to go ahead and just set up with the little selfie. I know some of the most engaging posts as I watch some of the things you do are you literally just selfie long arm in it.
I think to kind of speak on that, it's at least 30A's audience, they want to be in the know, they want to know what's going on, and they want it casual because they want to see what it could be like if they were here, because most of 30A's audience doesn't even live here. And again, you don't need to have nice camera gear to be successful on social media. I do everything from my phone, and you saw on this screen we have like 2 million fans total across all of our platforms, and I do everything from my phone. So and I think the next thing, if you could take one thing from this presentation, it would be this: have the beach in your background, your photos, your videos, at least like the starting frame or the starting photo, whatever it is. We see the most views, engagement of videos or pictures that have the beach in the background. And I'll kind of show an example there. You don't even have to get sandy. You don't have to walk down in the sand. I do most of my stuff from the top of the boardwalks here. So you can keep your shoes on, you just park, take your video, and I like to batch shoot. So I'll go to the beach one day and I'll have a list of 10 different intros that I have to shoot and just make it happen.
Intros. So for instance, if she's thinking, a lot of times when she's doing hers, and I'm assuming, I don't want to speak for you and I'll let you speak to it, but the way we do it is typically when we'll find one location and we'll shoot 4 or 5 different videos at a time. So we may have our theme. So if she's doing, I'm just going to use this example, it's not perfect, but if you were going to do which pool do you like best? If you were going to do a video, and you're not going to do that with a poll, but I'm just using that example. She's going to shoot, hey, it's McKenna from 30A. I'm down at the beach. We're just taking a quick idea of, we're going to show you today 3 of our favorite places to go for lunch, or 3 things to do when it's raining at the beach, or whatever it is, or the 5 best places to see a sunset. She's going to shoot all those intros at one time. So she's got them already saved. And then when she gets back and she begins to take, and we're going to see some of the content we've already got for you guys, she then batches those things together, schedules them out, I'm assuming, in advance. How far do you stay in advance? I know you're trying to do it as live as you can.
Yeah, I would say a lot of things I do day to day. I like to, on 30A social media at least, I like to share a day in my life pretty much every day. So I would say 50% of it is live. And then maybe 2 weeks in advance for everything else. So it's not super far out. But again, most of my content I'm posting live because it can be so casual and because my job is on 30A and I'm always on 30A. So pretty much anything that I'm doing is content. And then to kind of touch on that, it doesn't always have to be the beach in the background. Something 30A specific, you know, if you're in watercolor and you're by the fountain, that works too. Just something that's that somebody sitting in their living room in Ohio can't go and replicate. So I think that's kind of key, at least on 30A's page, to what works best.
We do some of that too, where what are the recognizable things? So I mean, if you go shoot in front of the post office at Seaside, the whole thing we're trying to do is when people are going through and this is the way they do, we want them to go stop. Because they recognize something or it creates an emotion that makes them stop. The beach does that. If it were, you know, Seaside, you know, these landmark things that people know when they see them, those are kind of things that we're really trying to make them stop with on those intros. And the intro is the most important, in my opinion, because that's what gets them to stop and engage with the content. If we don't catch them on the intro, it's hard to get any engagement.
Yeah, absolutely. And then this is something new that I've actually started doing, short interviews. So again, each of these little ones I'll have examples for coming up. But I've started, you know, if I'm on the beach and I see a group of kids, I'll go up to them and say, hey guys, like, how are you local? Do you live here? They'll say no. I'll say, what's your favorite place on 30A? I'm behind the camera, but I'm getting them to basically do the work. And it performs really, really well for 30A. And again, I think it's because it's casual. It's just kind of, it reminds me of those Vogue interviews. I'm not sure if you guys see those, but it's just kind of like in the moment. So that's something that maybe, yeah.
Do you have to go get the mommy's approval before you
Let me repeat that in case somebody couldn't see that. It's do you go get family approval when you're exploiting kids? I'm just kidding. No. Just kidding.
No. I mean, this could even be like if you're at the Red Bar and or you're at a restaurant and they have a new drink, maybe ask the waiter if you can video them talking about the new drink or something like that. That's been performing really, really well for 30A. So maybe that's something that you guys could replicate. And then last, this may not really translate, but live videos perform really, really well for 30A. I think, I was kind of thinking about this last night, we haven't even talked about this. I mean, maybe one day if someone has an awesome listing, we can go live and just kind of shoot, you know, something with a pool and palm trees, something that's beachy. I mean, that live videos perform really, really well for us, so that's something we could talk about.
Kind of like double down on that because I was like in my head the whole time. I'm like thinking like because we want to blend lifestyle with real estate. I think that's super important. So she's saying have the beach in the background, and live I think is probably one of the most powerful ways because the algorithm it feeds into that. Like I think the engagement is much higher for live videos. So what you could do as an example is like go down to any boardwalk, go to your favorite beach access, have the beach in the background, be like, hey. You know, today I'm going to do a tour of, you know, this property and have the beach in the background to lead and then go to the listing and all it is you just behind the camera doing little panning shots of the house and just like feed through that. If you guys need help for the first video, I don't have any problem meeting with you guys to like show you how to pan through the house, get the content that you need, but go live doing that and that would be pretty impressive, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're doing open houses, this is a great way to kick off the open house and just go live and just say, hey, listen, I'm getting ready to open the doors to this open house. I want to give you guys a free, you know, quick preview before the people get here. If you'd like to, stop by, you know, if you're in town, whatever. Those are some things you can do with live as well. One of the big things about the live portion is, in case y'all don't know this, is that when you go live, it is still a priority where all of your follow, like when 30A goes live, Facebook tells me. You know,
right.
It tells me that they went live. Same way with all of your friends. When you go live, it tells them. So if they're on, it immediately clicks there where it's going to show up in their feed. It's going to have some immediate. So it does have an advantage from the engagement portion for sure.
And then jumping into 3 different types of content that perform really well for 30A. If you're struggling with ideas for content, you can take guides, for example. You can do guides for the rest of your life on social media and never run out of content. So I'll kind of touch on these a little bit further. One thing that really works well for 30A is new. So if there's a new restaurant, a new bar, if your favorite restaurant has a new menu or new drink, or if there's a new trail, or whatever it is, that kind of information performs really well. And I think, again, it just all comes back to our audience wants to be in the know. They want to know what it's like to live here, what it's like to be a local. So when they see there's a new bar, a new restaurant, new shop, they want to be informed. And then my favorite are like secrets. So we've done a video like 7 secrets about Rosemary Beach, or there's a secret beach bar, or I think the key here is they're not actually secrets. They're just something that people that vacation to the beach every couple weeks in a year, they won't know. This is something that you only know if you drive through the watercolor traffic every day, or if so they're not really secrets. They're just things that locals may know that visitors might not know.
We do have one question from the Facebook group, and that's if you go live on Instagram, does it also go live on Facebook too, or do you have to pick one platform?
I'm pretty sure it's separate for lives.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lori, that's for you, girl.
So we kind of went through how to do a poll, and we can share this PowerPoint, or again, you can YouTube how to do a poll on Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is. So an example of some polls that I do. I will hop on screen. Again, these are just screenshots from videos, but I'll hop on camera and say, you just won the lottery, which home would you pick? So that's the intro. And then the next 2 to 3 to 4 slides are polls of pools or homes. And then I like to do the emojis, clicking up or down, so people can choose which is their favorite. And then the last is pretty casual, like thinking of moving to the beach? Check this out, and I'll add a link. And Karina will talk about adding links, but that's something that I do almost once a week. It performs really well. There's the beach in the background. It's a video. I did all this text on Instagram, but it doesn't have to be that fancy. So in terms of what works, I talked about videos working really, really well. This is a picture that I did as an intro to the polls. As you can see, got 4,000 views. Doesn't really mean much until you see this. This video got 10,000 views. It was actually posted the same exact time on a Friday, 1 week apart. So the timing didn't really have much to do with it, and it performed so much better. So that's something to keep in mind.
Are there optimal times for posting?
Yeah, I think you really have to dive into your own analytics, and we can talk about how that would work. But that, I kind of just look at our analytics and see which times work best, and then.
Okay.
So just to make sure that if somebody on Facebook didn't hear that, is there an ideal time for posting? And there absolutely is. In reality, every audience is different. You know what I mean? Your clientele base is probably going to be different than Tim's. You know what I mean? With the time frame that people are there. I would just suggest testing that and just seeing. If you do this again, though, if you were to say ideal times, if you were going to Google and say ideal times to post on Facebook, it's going to give you that information with different demographics. So understanding who your demographic is, who you're trying to reach, that'll help as well. Simon, if that helps. But in reality, there absolutely are ideal times. I mean, there are times where you can it's just like dead zone. Nobody's there. I mean, so some of those things where we're going to talk about too, where I know Karina does some things where she's helping some of y'all create a content calendar where you're posting certain posts or certain things you're doing out in advance. Those are the times you really want to be specific on that kind of thing. Ideally for us, what we've found, and just in general, for our clients, it is pretty interesting to see, but it is typically lunch to mid-afternoon are really good times for us, or first thing in the morning. Typically for us. Now, when we go to TikTok, it really is not really mattering that much because it's showing up on your algorithm now. They're just starved for content, and so doing those things really it doesn't make as much difference. Instagram for me personally, and maybe you can speak to this. Instagram for me personally, it has been literally afternoons and evenings for me personally is what I've been seeing because that's when people are scrolling the most. At least our ideal clients. I don't know if you want to add to that or
no. I mean,
else?
I would agree. I think though, if you're just starting out, take it step by step. First, work on the content creation. Start getting comfortable with that, and then you can dive deeper into your audience, your demographics, and see what's working best. So I think baby steps.
Yeah, definitely.
Teresa.
So when you do a poll, of which house do you like, which pool do you like, whatever, You just pull those off the MLS? Just go find a
Let me
picture?
speak to this. Yeah, so the question was, when you do a poll, where do you get the photos and those things? Obviously, ideally, you want to make sure that you're utilizing either, something that is public information. If it's somebody's listings, you want to get their approval in most cases, because you don't want to just, utilize something without that. Just know that if there are any of the listings that are, anything of the guys, any of our new homes divisions, any of those, then absolutely you can use those. Without asking for permission on that kind of stuff. But yeah, you don't want to just put somebody's house up there and they're like, hey, wait a minute, this is my house. Why are you know what I mean? So you want to make sure you got permission on some of those things, but with restaurants, for instance, that might not be, I don't think you need permission. They're going to be glad that you've given them some exposure, of, hey, which is your favorite place to have, drinks at sunset or something, or whatever, those kind of things where it's public stuff. You feel comfortable with that?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
absolutely,
All right,
yeah.
good, yeah. Yes,
I do a
Sarah?
lot of property videos for out-of-town clients, and I use that content for videos. Do you think I should be asking for permission from those listing agents when it's from a video that I'm sending to a client?
Yeah, so the question from Sarah was, when she's doing video walkthroughs on properties or listings, should she ask permission to put that content on social media? I would say yes, and we want to err to that side. Obviously, most people, I'd say, hey, listen, I'd love to do this. Typically, what we want to do is if we're doing that, is I'll give you a soft way to do this. Hey, I saw a great listing from a friend of mine, so and so today. Check out the walkthrough. If you got questions, give me a shout. They're typically going to be fine as long as you give them a little tip of the hat, so to speak, and you don't claim it as the biggest place you get into. Trouble is if you're claiming it almost where people could perceive it as your listing. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So you just want to make sure you give that. And asking the permission really does take care of everything.
Okay.
So.
All right, thanks.
So kind of to touch back on the short interviews, I included that you can see 17,000 people viewed this. Pretty much everything that I do on stories has an intro. It's just an easy way to grab people's attention before you kind of dive into content. And this was the intro. It says, interviewed some locals at last night's sunset, tapped to hear their favorite places on 30A. And this was just my friends and I were on the beach, the sunset was in the back, and it was like, how long have you lived here? What's your favorite place on 30A? One of them said Shunk Gully. I tagged Shunk Gully. Super easy content. I mean, it took a minute to take and post. Not much to it, but it generated a lot of views. So that's something I thought I'd share.
So think of it, well, we can get to some of the content they can shoot. That's a great one, though, if we want to
That is a good
talk
one.
about that
Yeah.
from that standpoint.
That's
If it's
a good
okay,
one.
let me do that now. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So think of it this way. If we're talking about some ways that you can get your content out on 38, these are great things. I mean, we were at the, we watched the sun go down on Sunday evening. It was gorgeous sunset. There's people walking by. It would have been so easy for me just to have that conversation. Just say, hey, listen, love to get your opinion on some things. We've got a partnership with 38. May or may not get shared there, but love to just ask you, what your favorite place is on 38, and where you guys are from. And then you tag them, which means they're going to immediately come back on your personal content and connect with you. Secondly, whatever they say, connect there. Odds are that place is going to share that content, which is going to expand it. And these are great ways that you can really get a ton. Imagine just being on Sunday evening. I'm sitting there with Tasha. We're watching the sun go down, and somebody walks by and I say, "Hey, listen, where are you guys from?" And they say, "Oh, we're from wherever, Atlanta." Okay, great. Listen, we've got a partnership with 38. Love to just get your opinion. Some of it we share, some of it doesn't get shared, but love to. We're just kind of interviewing a few people to see where you're from. Tell us where you're from, what your name is, where you're from, and what your favorite place is on 38. And if it does, then I'll connect with you. Just let me know your, how I would find you on social media. Immediately connect with them. Put it together, send that stuff in. Odds are that might get shared.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so literally it's just you just interviewing, those folks.
Yeah, and this is something new that I've started, and it's really fun. So I'll encourage you guys to do the same.
Are you saying send those videos to her?
Send them to Tim. Tim will then, and Tim's going to kind of be the point person for making sure that he'll filter this so that McKenna doesn't get, a ton from all of us. And and Tim's going to help you refine it, from a standpoint and say, hey, listen, if we do it this way, so don't, understand he's trying to help you get better. If he says, hey, listen, this really needs to be different. Listen, we can't even see their faces. We need to shoot it this way a little more. He's going to give you some critical content, just some critical ideas on how you can make it better so that we make sure that we're getting the right type of content shot the right way and it performs well.
And then another thing, I mentioned guides and how this could be the only content that you post forever, and it will still do really well. So again, people want to know what's going on 30A. So I've done some videos, best shopping on 30A, most romantic dining spots, kid-friendly rentals. But it doesn't need to be that broad. It can even be, I'll actually show you a video. I'll let Karina jump in first. So with these guides, I actually attached a 30A.com article with them, but it doesn't have to be like that. It can just be you hopping on saying, hey guys, here's a guide to all things watercolor. You can say, you know, here's where you can get your ice cream, here's where you can park, here's the best beach access. Whatever it is, I think this is like where you can get really creative with it, because this is the kind of stuff that even as a local, I like to see, you know, what people think the best places in watercolor are, or, you know, maybe what places to avoid, or really anything like that. So like I said, I add links to these, so Karina's gonna talk about how you guys can add links to your stories.
Yes, so Instagram used to make it where you had to have 10,000 followers.
And this is actually what I
to...
learned this morning. I didn't know
yes.
that.
So if you didn't know, you don't have to have 10,000 followers to have a link anymore on your stories. You can see up there, there's a little link button when you're going to add any sort of text or anything to your content. You can click that link there. You'll add your, I think you can link back to your website. If you're talking about, like, this example here is a nice view of Destin. It says, want this view to last forever. Take a look at available waterfront properties in Destin. Go to your website, use the filters to find waterfront properties in Destin, add that URL there, and you can name that link something a little more catchy than a long link. And then it's there, and they can click on that when they see your story and take you right to your website, and it will be potentially lead generating for you. But yeah, no need. You can have 1 follower or 1 million followers, whatever that looks like for you. You can add links to all of these posts, and it's just, you definitely want to have a call to action on everything that you're doing, so this is an easy way to do that.
Yeah, let's see if we can get that here playback. So let me give you an idea. You're one thing that's good too. If you're utilizing your Boomtown website, for y'all it's 30A dot. If it's Panama City, it's PCB dot. Whatever your link is, you want to make sure you're using your website on that portion. Again, those are going to be for the content that you're going to do yourselves. Obviously, with 30A Real Estate, they're going to use a 30A Real Estate for that. But this is a great way to generate some leads that really it was not available just a month or two ago, where we could do this unless you had the 10,000 followers. So this is a great way to do that. And the beauty of this is the link that you set up. So when you go in, let me just tell you how to get that link. If you go in on your own website and you do a search, I'm going to just, because it's easy, it's right here, and you were to put in watercolor homes for sale, okay? And it comes up now with only 6 or 7, which is crazy, but it comes up with those 6 or 7. The beauty of that is that if that's a post and somebody comes back and looks at that 10 days from now, that link continues to update constantly. So even though, used to when we would post a link to like MLS, it was just the ones that were available right then. That link that with our Boomtown site continues to stay active and continues to stay evergreen. So when if somebody looks at that a year from now, it's going to show them what's available right then, not what was that day. So that's a big advantage of utilizing that Boomtown site on your link, okay?
And then kind of, this is the video I was talking about. So Tim and I went out to Churchill Oaks just to shoot a quick little video. You're gonna notice there's an intro, and then I kind of show a house, the entry to the neighborhood, the pool, the marina, and some walking trails. And I'll just show you guys.
See if this volume's up here.
Okay.
Hear it. And if you can't see this on Facebook Live, we'll get all of this for you if you'd like it.
I'm here in Churchill Oaks. Let's go check it out. So this was just a quick example again. Guys, it's McKenna with 30A. I'm here in Churchill Oaks. Let's go check it out. So that was an intro. This is what I keep saying intro for. It was super easy, short introduction. I'm McKenna with 30A. I'm here in Churchill Oaks. Let's go check it out. Obviously not at the beach, but I mean, you can tell that I'm in Churchill Oaks. So that's just an example of the intro. And then those videos, everything I took was from my phone. There was a, what's it called? Time lapse. And maybe I slowed some things down on a free app on my phone, but we'll talk about how you guys can, the best free apps that you can use, or whether you should be shooting in 0.5 or 1 zoom on your camera, all these kind of tips and tricks. This is what we're going to talk about in the future, just so you guys can create videos like that super easily right from your phone.
Yeah, the beauty of this is don't get overwhelmed with this. We're going to talk in just a minute about some additional training for you guys that we're going to be doing on an ongoing basis, where Tim's actually going to teach you how to fish, not just give you fish. So,
and then this is kind of just to touch on new. So as you can see, this was something that I posted like a week and a half ago about the Sea Bar and Chicken Shack, which is a new restaurant in Seaside. It's a bright, cute little photo, but it got, almost 30,000 views and 150 people swiped up on the link. So this just goes to show that anything that says new, people are really, really interested in. And this is just one example, but I promise it's on everything that we do that says, this is a new shop, this is a new trail, this is a new community. It performs really, really well. And then this is the video that I was talking about, the 7 secrets about Rosemary Beach. This was posted on YouTube, 32,000 views, and it still increases every day, just because, people search Rosemary Beach and this is what pops up. Yeah, again, posting guides to areas similar to that Churchill Oaks video you saw. Anything that's new in the area, and then, the secrets or what the locals know is really, really engaging to 30A's audience, and I'm assuming that's going to transfer to your audience as well. Yes.
It says Angela is showing you. So did you find that on YouTube and share it on 30A?
You mean to answer this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. No, actually, so Angela Ragsdale actually was the one that hosted this.
Yes.
And so consequently, it's just basically, that was just in their, on their, I don't know if that's in the
very
intro or
beginning.
that's on their Facebook page, but basically that's all it was.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
So it's not like we could go to YouTube and find these cool videos and share them.
I believe that
You can, you absolutely
like
can.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't mind you sharing those things. But there's a ton of content there. So I will utilize, I'll give you an example. They did them on every single one of the beach neighborhoods. So there were some, even last couple weeks ago, we had some people that were in town that were old clients of mine. They're like, hey, we're thinking about Great Beach. I was like, well, do you know the history on Great Beach? Well, they had a killer video they did, which is professionally done. I said, hey, listen, some friends of mine shot this video telling really the history of Great Beach. I'd love to send it to you. I think it'll give you a better feel. So yeah, I utilize that stuff all the time.
Yeah, and I think, if you go to 30A.com and you search Grayton Beach, Seaside, Rosemary, we have articles, the best places, or what to see, eat, play, and do in each area, and you can just steal the information from there. Next time you're in Grayton, take a picture of Red Bar and Tringo or all the places that we mentioned. So, it kind of goes both ways. Like, we want to utilize your content, and then you can use our content. Because we have a lot out there.
That's the beauty of the partnership, and also don't ever discount how much we've got on our blogs on your own websites. So all of that stuff that Jenny puts together, that Rachel and Karina, they all put together blog posts continuously. And so if you're curious about that, you can go on your own website, go under the blog
resources tab at the top, and there's even community guides on our website. Like any of the resources on your website, it's an opportunity for you to share as content. There's so many different things on there, but under resources and blogs, you'll find all of the blogs. There's about 4 to 5 each month, events in the area, new homes, different things going on, but definitely share them.
To me, the events portion is one that's underutilized that they do every month. So I would just encourage you, go in there and look at that. Those are great content for you to share about, hey, here's what's coming up this month, or something along those lines, or hey, not sure if you've seen or heard about this or this. They'll highlight a wine festival, they'll highlight something that's coming up. Those are great, that's great content, and it's on your website, so you're directing people back to your website. So.
And then Karina's kind of going to talk about, or Tim maybe he's going to talk about hashtags and how you can use them.
All right, so I think a lot of people don't leverage hashtags enough, especially, or even like recognizing the value of hashtags. So the way I kind of look at hashtags and I break it down, it's like, I'm always thinking about distribution, like not only like creativity, but like how can we get the biggest reach? Like that's kind of how my brain works for social media. And hashtags are literally like free digital ad dollars that you can attach to your posts. So a lot of people boost posts, they pay money to boost posts, you get bigger engagement, you can control the demographic that you want to reach out to, etc. It's a little bit deeper than what you need to kind of dive into in the beginning. So hashtags basically do that for you. Like you don't have to spend any extra money. think of them as a way to boost your posts for free by tagging relevant hashtags based off the post. So for example, like some of the reasons why we say that you should have them on your post is definitely for brand awareness. So for example, we have the 30A real estate team. I think if you're on that team, or if you're even just selling real estate on 30A, doesn't really even matter if it's a listing or a pool, like even just a beach shot, I would still have 30A real estate, because you want to let people know that you are a realtor. I think that's super important. So you're creating brand awareness, letting people know every time that you post something, I'm a realtor and I'm on 30A, and 30A real estate is a really great hashtag. It's powerful, it's localized, and it's informative. Same concept with the brand. Leverage the brand. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. Everybody knows that. Everybody loves that. It allows you to elevate your expertise as an agent. Like when people hear, I'm not going to name drop other brokerages, but they don't have the power. You know, like when people hear Berkshire Hathaway, they perk up. They're like, okay, like you must be a premier agent. So definitely add BHHS real estate to same thing. Almost any post. Like you want to constantly be letting people know what you do.
Can I add something real quick?
Yeah,
definitely. Just in case somebody's just not familiar with hashtags or not exactly sure, well, how does that work? Let me give you kind of the 101 on that. So if you're thinking of it this way, I'll give you an example. Tasha and I are getting ready to take a trip for our 25th anniversary. We're going to go out to Napa Valley. The way that I'm searching is not going on YouTube and searching. I do that too, but really what I'm doing is I'm going to Instagram and I'm doing hashtag Napa Valley. Hashtag, those like, things that are there, whatever it is. So the people that are coming to the beach are curious about the beach, they're going to search the hashtags. The hashtags act as the search engine for that platform. So in other words, if somebody comes in and they get on Instagram and they're like, you know what, I've been in this cubicle all day, I just need to relax and just have some beach shots. They're going to go to hashtag 30A and they're going to see all the posts that have been posted with that hashtag. If they do 38, I'm curious about 30A real estate, hashtag 30A real estate, it's going to show all of those posts that have been made with that hashtag. It gives you the ability. Listen, use the big ones, but I'll tell you something, make sure you're using more localized also. So for instance, if you're at Blue Mountain Beach, do hashtag Blue Mountain Beach, do hashtag Rayton Beach, hashtag Rosemary Beach, wherever you are, make sure you're utilizing the big ones, which will get you there, but you got a lot of competition there. The more niche you get, I would rather have 10 people that were searching. If I'm trying to work on a house, I'm just using this example in Blue Mountain Beach, I'd rather have 10 people that were looking for houses in Blue Mountain Beach than have 1,000 people that are just looking for 30A and don't care about anything as far as buying real estate.
I'm gonna jump in there. So when you are putting your hashtag, like when you type in hashtag and you type in 30A real estate, it'll tell you right there how many people have used that hashtag. So it'll say 1 million plus, or it'll say 100. So you'll be able to see. And I think, go ahead.
Those are, say, agents or people, whatever, that have used that. Does that mean, because I think I asked you this the other day, does that mean that's the best one to use? Because more people are using it? It's not that many people have looked at it.
You want to blend between two. I think we all probably agree on that. You want to use the bigger ones, but like Jimmy said, you also want to get hyper localized based off of what you're posting. So
now some of this may have changed, so I'm gonna give you my personal, okay? Personally, what I tried to do is I tried to use 3 of the largest. So I would use 3 that were like hashtag 30A. And then I would try to use 3 that were in the middle, which were typically somewhere between 200,000 and 1 million. And then what I tried to do was I tried to do 3 that were under 1,000. So that was for me, that was the mix I tried to utilize because that gave me the ability. Now they are, they're constantly changing, with their algorithm. So it used to be, the 10 was a great number to have as far as your hashtags and it didn't penalize you. There have been some research that maybe you need to do less. I don't know that we know that. It just constantly changes.
We set into it kind of at the very end of this. We did a little bit of research and
okay, well, please let everybody know. I'm sorry, I didn't.
No, you're good.
I didn't read it.
You're leading into it, so it's perfect. It's perfect.
So you want to share that?
Yeah. It's kind of just like doubling down on what you just said. So basically what we found through research, and this isn't just perspective, this is actually through analytics, to increase your engagement based off of different platforms, they want you to leverage hashtags in different ways. And they're talking mostly, not necessarily what we're talking about leveraging them, but like how many should you post with your post. So we noticed through Buffer, which is a really good analytical site that does a lot of research based off of social media in general, that they say that you get 2 times the engagement just by adding hashtags to your post. You're getting 2 times the reach than what you normally would by not adding hashtags. So they are like really pivotal for increasing your reach. We also found that through research that they want you to actually do quite a few on Instagram. They're saying 11 plus for Instagram, and I think even Karina was saying yesterday that our company doubles down and like they do the maximum. They like go wild with it. They get crazy, like, and it works. So you can really like hone in and do a lot of hashtagging for your Instagram posts. Facebook and LinkedIn are different. They don't want a lot of hashtags. They actually reward you more by keeping less hashtags. So you want to get a little bit more specific on your hashtags for Facebook and LinkedIn, and they only want 3 or less. So you got to kind of learn these things and stay aware. And like Jimmy said, it is changing, but it doesn't change like every month. You know, every now and then when there's an algorithm update, it will update. But we do the research for you guys. Just keep in contact with us. Like if you notice that your posts are falling off, we'll just dive into some analytics and be like, okay, they've changed it. Let's shift how much we actually need to add to each post, and then we'll make the adjustments from there. But
The hashtags are the best way for you to build an audience, because if you're consistently posting and people are consistently looking for content on 30A or content for a specific neighborhood or specific area, if they see that you're posting consistently, or they see one post that was good, they just hit the follow button, they just hit the connect button, whatever it is for that platform. So from that standpoint, the consistency on the hashtags, you know, I've got friends in other markets that have built, you know, and you know, you get overwhelmed with this. People are like, oh gosh, these people have 10,000 people. It's not about the number, it's about the depth of the relationship with that group. And so consequently, understand, we've got agents. I've got an agent friend of mine in Baltimore that only has about, I guess he's got around 2,000 people, but he's continuously posting relevant content for that Baltimore market, and his engagement is through the roof. His engagement with that 2,000 is more than some people have with 25,000. So it's the depth of those relationships, and that's where hashtags really get you specifically the target audience.
we have a question, and then we'll get to you real quick. It says, is it best to put hashtag in posts or in comments? And I'll kind of take it. Maybe you guys agree or disagree. I'll kind of, you know, give my perspective and see how everybody resonates with it. But I think for Instagram, it would be best to put them in the comments just so it keeps your post clean.
That's right.
Since you're typically going to do a lot of hashtags for Instagram, you're probably just going to want to make your post, type what you want to say about your photo, and then copy and paste the hashtags into the first comment of that post. That way, whenever they see the post, they just see the photo, they see the clean text, and then if they, you know, click on comments or whatever, I think it might even just show them naturally. They'll see all the hashtags immediately as the first comment. For Facebook and LinkedIn, I think since you're using so few, that hashtagging them straight to the post isn't a problem. It keeps it more simple for them anyways. I think a tip that you could do is same concept, post your photo, write your text, but then push enter and like space down one so there's a gap, and then have your hashtags under that so it's clean and it's not like it just separates the text and the hashtags and makes it look a little bit more clean and professional.
Let me even give you another one on Instagram specifically, because you want to keep that as clean as possible. Is we've got some friends of mine that actually what they will do in another market is, so that they keep that post clean, they will actually do their first comment once they've made the post will be like a sunshine emoji or some kind of emoji thing, and then they do reply to that, which the replies are always hidden on Instagram. So then it doesn't look like, well, they made this content, they just made this first comment and tried to do all this. So they posted just like an emoji of something, whatever. You know, I'm not a big emoji guy, but you know what I'm saying. They post something there, and then that's what shows up is the first comment. It doesn't show the replies, and then they reply to their initial comment with all the hashtags, and it doesn't show up. So it keeps it real clean when they're looking at it.
I was actually going to jump in and say that exact same thing. I've seen the best engagement with when it actually is an
Yeah, and this is something also that you guys can help each other out. I mean, if you're trying to build your audience and everything, you know, and you know you're going to do this, find a partner and just start doing these things where, like, listen, I'm gonna try to make the first comment for you. You know, as Jay's seen with Facebook, 4-word responses on Facebook really does something for the algorithm. So if you're responding to each other's, try to do those things that help each other out, and it's going to help all of us grow.
Definitely. Okay, so this is kind of what Jimmy was leading into earlier. Like I feel like social media can be overwhelming to an extent. Like it is a lot of moving parts, and we want to teach you guys how to fish, obviously, you know, like, so what we're going to do, my idea for this is to inspire you guys to actually come to these meetups. We're going to start hosting meetups in communities to where you guys meet us, and for the first few times, basically, I'll meet you out there, McKenna will meet you out there, maybe Karina, and like anybody else who's on the marketing team that has time to get out there will be out there. And for example, like we met at Churchill Oaks to give you that example video. So it would just be you guys meeting us out there. We walk you through how to shoot the quick intro, and then you basically kind of like follow us around, and we educate you guys on how to actually get the amenity shots, get the B-roll, think from a creative perspective, like show you like kind of how our brain works. Like we create shot lists, like we basically know what we're gonna do before we get there. You know, like we're not walking around aimlessly, like we really know what we're gonna do. So we wanna kind of inspire you guys to come to these meetups and really learn how to capture this content in the most professional way possible. That way you guys feel inspired to continue to do this, because if I was an agent, like I would consider this an income producing activity. Like this, you know, this is one of the most pivotal ways to get free lead generation. It takes a little bit of sweat equity, but it's also free. So, and it expands your reach. It makes you look like the community expert wherever you're farming. It makes you look like the local expert. And, take Jimmy, for example. Like I kept hearing after convention, like people weren't walking up to, big wigs in the company. They were walking up to Jimmy Burgess and like, let me get a photo with Jimmy, let me get videos with Jimmy. It works.
It's like your in card. You start talking to a group, you're like, yeah, I'm Jimmy. I'm in the Panhandle, I'm in 38, and they're like,
What is that?
You're like, I'm Jimmy Burgess is awesome.
Right? So it's like, just think of it that way, like the more consistent you guys are with this.
I bet if we hashtag Jimmy Burgess,
For sure. Literally though. And it's like, think of it this way too though. It took us consistency to get to this. It wasn't like this in the beginning. Like, Jimmy poured his heart and soul into like making this work, and he's inspired the entire company, and it's leveraged so much, not only through our local market, but corporate calls us all the time to like get knowledge about how we operate from a social standpoint. So just stay consistent with it. Like it works, and it may not work in the beginning, but the more consistent you guys are with this, you'll get traction, and then it just explodes. And then old content from years ago starts compiling views and leads, and it's just interesting how it works. So consistency is everything.
And by the way, McKenna, I apologize that I couldn't make it for the shoot, and I'm glad you found somebody else to do it. So to give you guys an idea, when we do these meetups, listen, we're going to have fun. We're going to, just so you know, kind of keep your eye open. We kind of got to watch the weather on this. But in the next couple of weeks, you're going to be hearing from us probably 2 to 3 days in advance. We're going to do one at probably Grayton Beach. It's going to be our first one.
Yep.
We're going to do it in the evenings. We're going to look at having some things set up for you guys. I would encourage you to wear your 30A gear, because obviously we'll do some photos, we'll do some things while we're out there, and really just try to help you guys get a better vision of what you can do from that standpoint. Let me mention this, because now that Tim's brought it up, to give you an idea is, don't think your first post, now it could be, you can catch lightning in a bottle, don't think your first post all of a sudden now you're going to have 1,000 new Instagram followers. Okay, now it can happen, but let me just say this, consistency is key in all of this. And it's almost like everything else in your real estate business, the market, social media, followers, people are going to watch to see if you truly mean it and your consistency. Tim mentioned this. Tim and I shot videos for 14 months. It took us 14 months to get our first 100 subscribers on YouTube. And most people would have stopped. But we knew that if we were consistent, it would continue to grow, and now it's grown to what it is. So I would just encourage you, understand that this is a commitment. It's not a one-time deal. So if you're wanting to, but let me just say this, there's nothing, especially in our market, and in any market really, but in our market especially with the aesthetics we have to be able to shoot from, there's nothing better you can do to grow your business than to be active on social media and show this lifestyle. We're getting to live it, y'all. I mean, think about that. We get to live that. And so by documenting that and sharing that, I promise you it's going to draw people to you.
And one last thing, I mean, in a couple of these examples, I'm wearing the same exact shirt, and they were different days.
Yeah.
Or no, I mean, they were all on the same day. I went to the beach one day and shot all these different videos, and they were posted weeks, months apart. So if time is an issue, that's a really bad excuse, because you can go to the beach for 30 minutes, shoot all your content, or at least your intro videos for the next month or so.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it seems like this big, overwhelming task, but I think just getting comfortable behind the camera will help you kind of integrate social media into your day-to-day life, and you'll remember next time you're at a restaurant, oh, shoot, maybe I should take a photo and put this up on stories and tag the restaurant, that kind of thing. So, I'm not sure where everyone is here, even on live, where they're at in their personal social media, but I think baby steps, and I think the first thing is just starting to create.
That's it. Any other questions? We got any other questions on Facebook Live? If not, I'm gonna be, yeah.
This is kind of stupid, but can you go on Facebook? Is it a good idea to go on Facebook where you have all your friends and say, please go and follow me on Instagram?
Well,
Do that? Just to get,
I don't want to look thirsty, so I mean, personally, I probably wouldn't. What I would do is I would probably come in and I would be like, hey, listen, I would share something from Instagram possibly, or maybe mention it in a way and say, hey, listen, I don't know that I would just go that directly, because if you've got a following there, typically people, I mean, they're on different platforms, but the person who's active on Facebook is not always the person that's going to be active on Instagram. So I would use the hashtags to build that group, and then maybe you do something where you do some type of promotion or something, and you mention it. You know what I mean? But I don't know that I would just say, hey, just follow me.
And I think,
how do y'all do it? Because y'all do it really well.
well, our audience for Facebook and Instagram and TikTok is completely different. Instagram for 30A is more of that younger crowd, and then Facebook, it's all, 75% of our following is women older than 35 years. So it's like our demographics are totally different. So the content that we're posting, in 30A's case, the beach is pretty universal, but it's different content. So most of the time it's different demographics. Most of the time it's not the same content.
second.
Yeah.
Does Instagram release information about how the algorithm changes, or do y'all just do trial and error?
It did recently just change. It went back to what's it called? Like by time. I know, but it'll alert you. I think you get a notification.
And it alerts you. The best thing we've got, is this partnership, to be honest, because they're testing constantly. She's split testing everything. So we got real live active understanding of what's going on with a large audience that applies to us typically. So absolutely. If you go in there and you search for Instagram algorithm, they're going to give you updates, but in reality they don't tell you the whole story. But the data doesn't lie. When we see her post like that, that's a perfect example. This was same time, two different Fridays, picture versus just a flat 3D version of something, or just a print version. You can see it real quick. So that's kind of what we utilize. Teresa, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh, well, it's my last one, I promise.
No,
bring them on. Seriously, more questions.
You mentioned copy and pasting hashtags, because I know it's kind of labor intensive. Think of all these hashtags every time.
Yep.
Where do you copy and paste? Like keep it in your phone?
Notes is where I do it. So I keep it in notes on my phone, and then I just go in and I just copy the notes and just put it
And
in.
then to speak on the hyperlocal, you may have to add 3 or 4 hashtags depending on the location.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, good idea.
Yeah, please, yeah.
There's several people I follow that I know it's them before I see their name, just they have a very consistent look about what they do exactly. Is there a benefit to that? And
Absolutely.
Should that be?
That's building your own brand. I think that's super important.
You want to speak to that?
I just think people I get to a point even with different people I follow where I'm itching for that same content. Like I am now relying on it like it's a TV show that comes on. Like I'm excited to watch their story because it's the same thing. Of course, switching it up, but I think keeping it consistent across the board, that is key for sure, and definitely just making you unique with your own brand.
And think about your perspective of what you just said with your question. You recognized that before
Right.
you even really absorbed it. So that's what you want from your content. You want people to recognize that maybe it's not even a photo of you in it, but just the way it looks and the aesthetics. They're like, oh, this is this brand and I love this brand. They're going to constantly recognize that every time if you stay cohesive with the same
Is that just logo, or do you think filter?
color palettes, everything, it's kind of all of those, logo, even the value that you add if it's a video, all of that kind of plays into.
If you notice 30A, they use the same font, they use the same colors. So when you're posting I'll let you speak to that if you want to.
Yeah, generally everything that I post is going to be pretty bright, pretty saturated. Most of the stuff has a little, 30A logo or 30A GIF. So it's all very similar. As you can see, this one's different colors, but it's all very similar. So it's not the same exact thing, but when you see these, you're like, oh, it's 30A.
Yeah, it's huge. The personal brand side of this is ultimately what this is about. You want people to recognize it's you. You want people to get a comfort level with you. And we used to say that we were, I used to say, and we said it as a company, that we were a marketing company that happened to sell real estate. In reality, going forward, you're probably going to need to be a media company that happens to sell real estate. You're going to need to be someone that has a personal brand that people have that comfort level. The beauty of it is as far as the company brand we have with Berkshire Hathaway is one of the most trusted brands in the world. So being able to tie a world-renowned, literally top 5 most trusted brands in the world with your personal brand is just it's a lot. There's a lot of tailwind there to do that. So
That was a really good question.
let's go ahead, please.
We did have one on here. Lori asked, she said, obviously we want to show 30A lifestyle, but should we follow the same protocol when on vacay away from 30A? And I was just going to say yes. Like, definitely your people
brand.
are, yes, keep it consistent. The best thing you can do is show up. I think so many people are intimidated by social media, but if you're on vacation, people want to see that too. So I would keep it going.
And let me
Wherever
add
you
this
are.
too, for everybody, because there's a lot of people on here that are probably on St. George Island, that are in Panama City Beach, that are in Mexico Beach, that are in Destin, Navarre. Listen, the ability for you, the great thing is here, 30A's kind of got the market cornered. We've got a partnership with them. But if you're in those areas, I don't know anybody that has Navarre Beach cornered as far as social media.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody. And, we're a coastal community. So if you're in those markets and you're like, well, gosh, I'm not on 30A, how can I post content there? Doing something along the lines of just that's going to be beach anywhere is going to get you followers as well. So instead of doing like best places to watch the sunset on 30A, it may be 3 things to do when it rains at the beach, or 4 things to do, when it's too hot outside and you're at the beach, and I mean that content can be just for about any beach. It gives you the ability to leverage theirs, and those followers you're going to get. I'm going to use St. George Island for instance, that is 150 miles down the coast. That content and having those people find the forgotten coast through the value of this is dramatic too. So don't be afraid to utilize some of those just general concepts for the beach. Can you share this, because I really
Yes.
want to make sure this is such a good deal.
Did you have anything to share here?
So for anybody who doesn't know, like you were asking where to get content, I think we kind of like try to reiterate this as much as possible. If you go to Beach Minutes and you click on the digital media tab, it'll have a drop down and it says Agent Unit Assets and it takes you to this page. If you click to view Agent Unit Assets, it'll take you to a Dropbox file that has just unlimited amounts of evergreen content that you guys can share. It's got photos, videos, and we try to keep it as unbranded as possible. There will be branded content that you can leverage as well, but we try to keep it just like raw, unedited content. So if you can't find the time, like let's say you're just crushing it in real estate, because there are times in the summertime where you guys just get slammed with listings, and that's beautiful. That's what we want. So lean into this as well and make sure that if you can't get out to the beach and shoot a video, go into Agent Unit Assets, find some content inside of there and just share it, because it's just evergreen, it's ever growing. We're basically farming every community that we can along 30A. We're doing it in Panama City. We're doing it in Destin now, so it's constantly expanding. We're starting basically any area that you guys service. We're trying to add content to this database or this Agent Unit Assets folder. So it's a great way.
Which drop-down?
The digital media. So it says digital media right there, and then if you click on it, if you click on it, it'll say Agent Media Assets, and then it'll redirect you to this page that you're seeing, and then you just click on the Cabernet click to view Agent Media Assets button, and it redirects you to a Dropbox file where you can download it straight to your phone, download it straight to your computer, download it to any device basically, and share it like it's yours, like get on Instagram and rebrand it however you want to rebrand it. Share the content that we do that is branded for Berkshire. It's just a huge library of content that you guys have access to that,
It took me a few tries to realize that once you download to your Dropbox, you don't have to go through.
That's true.
Right.
Like
It's
you
true.
can just go to your Dropbox.
Right.
It's anything that you guys have updated in there, because I have like 3,
Right.
after I realized, I was like, oh, it's already there.
Right. And it
so
might even-
It's in your Dropbox after you.
does it notify you whenever we upload new content too? Because sometimes.
I don't have notifications on.
Okay,
Dropbox,
okay.
but
It does me.
It should,
It does.
yeah. So if Sarah said, if you do go into this and you click on Agent Media Assets, you can actually download it straight to your Dropbox. You can have a free Dropbox account. You don't have to pay for it. It'll actually automatically add that to your account, so you don't have to go to Beach Minute. You can just download the app of Dropbox on your phone. And honestly, if you don't use it a lot, just keep it only Agent Media Assets. So every time you just open the app, click on the folder, you see the library of, you know, everything breaking down from communities, lifestyle, social media. There's trainings in there. Like, we really try to just like pour on as much content as we can for you guys. And I think if you do turn on notifications, anytime we add anything new to it, it'll send you a notification just like any other social media platform.
So there, and just so you know, I mean, Tim does a great job of continuously updating this. Noah's been updating it, and just so y'all know, you know, one of the things that we did a few years ago, and we're really going to try to lean into this summer, is we're looking for, if y'all know of kids that are in, or guys or ladies that are in college, especially that can handle a camera somewhat. We are doing interns again this summer. About 2 summers ago, before that, we had 3 interns in, and we just turned them loose with cameras. And we would have, okay, today we're going to get you into watercolor. And I mean, I think Tim had more fun than anybody. They would just go spend the day in the pools and shoot video and get
I had
content.
the beginner's job, basically.
Yeah, I know, yeah. And so we're going to do that again. So, you know, the content's great that's in there. It's incredible. I mean, there's literally hundreds of videos, thousands of photos that you can utilize that are available for you guys that, you know, we just are just providing for you guys. So take advantage of that, and there's more to come as well. Yeah, Sarah?
I'll also add that once you download that to Dropbox, when you're on Moxie, you can pull videos from, or photos directly from that Dropbox.
That's pretty
You don't have
sweet.
to go through multiple steps. You can pull up Moxie, you can pull up a shot of people, you know, on their boards and great, and boom, you've got
Yeah.
Love it.
It would cost you a couple $1,000s to get those if you were to go find a photographer to provide all that content for you. Easy.
Yeah.
So it's free to you guys, so take advantage of it. Please, McKenna,
Yes.
share with us.
Okay. One last thing. Some of y'all already know this, but 30A is giving away free 30A license plate vouchers. So basically, the county, you have to sell 3,000 before they can be produced. At this point, we're just giving them away because we want to hit that 3,000 number. And it's pretty cool. Usually, obviously, we're waiving the fee for y'all. But usually the profits all go to benefiting Scenic Walton, which is a local nonprofit here that works on beautification projects in Walton County. So like palm trees in the median, the
Underpass.
yeah, the underpass, all that sort of stuff. So they do a lot of good things. They basically lobby for the money to be kept in Walton County, which is pretty cool. Plus, you know, everyone can have a 30A sticker on their car. Only Florida residents or people with Florida vehicles registered in Florida can have the tag. So if y'all are interested, your family, your kids, your neighbors, your friends, your clients,
Yeah,
you know,
closing gifts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
closing gifts. This is such an awesome gift, and it's free to you. Basically, all that I need is your name and your birthday, and then we also get your email so that we can contact you once they're produced. So if you're interested, I'll be here for a while, and then I think I'll also be sending Tim a link to share with everyone, and it's just a free link where you just input your name, your birthday, and your email.
You should have it in your
and then-
database.
That's
if
what I
you
was about
wanted
to say.
It's
Yep.
just,
Our goal is to kind of like take the content that she's going to give us. We'll create a graphic for you guys that has the information, has the link, and we really want to inspire you guys to just send a mass email to your database. Don't really post this to social because I feel like you got, from what McKenna was saying, that they sold some in the beginning and they don't want to create any adversity in that aspect. But keep it internal and send it directly to some people that you know that have obviously Florida vehicles, and help us get to that 3,000 mark because they're so close. I'm excited for mine, so I'm going to be a little bit selfish. I'm like, let's get there. But like, take the content that we're going to share. We're going to create a nice graphic that has the link, and just send it to your database of anybody that you know that lives locally. That way, we can help them get to that 3,000 mark.
It's good. Anybody got any questions? Yeah, Teresa.
Personalize that, what do you call it? Because like on my tag, it's.
Yeah, you can. I think one thing to keep in mind is it's only 5 characters, whereas the current ones are 6, maybe 7. So you can personalize it. That happens once they're produced and once you go into the county to pick them up. But it is only 5 characters. So that's something to keep in mind.
Absolutely. All right. Yes.
No, I was counting the letters.
She's got her idea.
Yeah.
So I had to step out, you may have already addressed this, but I'm assuming that everything you're doing, especially videos, shorter is better than longer. Is there an ideal time?
It depends on the content.
Well, I would actually say, I think one, like for stories, for example, one story is what, 15 seconds? 15 seconds. So under 15 seconds is ideal. But I mean, sometimes my videos are 3 seconds long. Hey guys, it's McKenna with 30A. Let's go check out the beach, you know? So
That helps, because I think about videos being minutes long.
yeah,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
Short and sweet.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, if you start with the stories and you start with the 15 seconds, it's going to get easier to do the longer form content
Yeah.
as you get more comfortable in front of the video. Yeah, please.
Have you gone into Reels and YouTube Shorts?
Man, let me just tell you,
Yeah.
we're killing it.
Yeah,
with
double
Reels.
down on Reels.
If you're wanting to know the best way to get your most engagement right now, Reels, TikTok videos, basically to give those of you that don't know, and we've talked about this before, but think of it this way: TikTok is the fastest growing, and so consequently, if you'll look, well, the reason why Instagram has been so strong and has been so resilient is that they were purchased by Facebook because they saw that that Instagram was a threat to Facebook. So what they've done now is you'll see whether it be what do they call their Instagram TV or whatever, ITV. That was basically to combat YouTube, and then now what Reels are to combat TikTok, and consequently you're getting more organic traffic than you can get on any other way through the Reels portion on Instagram. And with those, it's a minute or less on those. And when we're doing the Reels,
3 minutes.
I
is
think
it?
they've expanded. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but listen, if you're looking for that, utilizing Reels, you're going to get way more organic traffic than ever. And what we've
Facebook
done,
also has Reels.
yes,
Yeah.
Facebook has it as well. And now what you can see is for us, like the stuff that I did, for me, that got, the first reel we did, we put it on Reels and we put it on TikTok. This is the same basic content. The first one we did, and listen, I don't have that many people follow me on Instagram because it was not something I was focused on. And we had like 11,000 views within like an hour and a half or something just by hashtagging that thing and having a reel up there. So it's a great way right now, and that's one of the focuses where we would say, listen, start, and then we're going to help you refine for sure. But for sure, if you're a little more advanced and you're doing some things, Reels is where it should be. Anything else? Anybody else got? And the YouTube Shorts are the same thing. I've used YouTube Shorts with the same content. It's not been as effective for me personally and for some of the people I know. I don't know why. It just hasn't been. I don't know why. I just haven't figured it out. But definitely TikTok and Instagram Reels are killing.
For sure.
All right. Anything else y'all want to? I just feel really good to be up here and be, with some, I feel like I've gotten younger just by saying it, which I always appreciate. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So, listen, McKenna, thank you.
Yes,
this has been great. Tim, Karina, this has been great. Listen, I believe this with all my heart, and I'll just say this because, listen, we just got back from National Convention. We have got the best team as far as support staff for you guys anywhere in the country. I'll put them up against anybody. As far as having a heart to serve you guys, as far as having the knowledge to take your business to the next level, lean into it. Don't let this go by. To whom much is given, much is expected. Let me just say this: much has been given. So we're expecting you guys to lean in and take advantage of it. So with that, we'll wrap it up, and we'll see you guys a little bit later. Thanks.